live for another episode of Chaos and Confusion. That's a great answer. Chaos and confusion. Really? Anybody ever called their videos that? Seriously though. I am the hostess with the mostest in that department, the High Priestess Phoenix. I don't want to go into the whole intro. I am your messenger God, first child of God, the Lilith reincarnated. In order to keep up with me, you would have seen my rant and rave earlier, where I called upon the devils to go after my neighbor. Seriously, not really. No, they stopped me. The first devil was like, "Hey, be careful with all that vengeance," and that's pretty much been the message for like the last 3 days. Anyways, don't forget to check out my community page where Kobe's always no work, no play, life is sad. And that's where it is. It's like you do this on Friday nights. Yes, I sit with Kobe Bryant and we fucking do shadow work. Seriously, we do it at 4 o'clock in the morning. We do it all the time. He's all work and no play. You are no fun at all. Really? No, he's always around, but not for the fun times. Really be careful when you invoke that spirit. With that being said, I was about to do a teaching right now. I really was. I really was. I was going to teach you the names of power so that you too could understand what spirits to invoke at what time. Realistically, well, I mean, as I always say, I know a guy. I know all of them. Really? But no, they told me not to be teaching you that kind of stuff. But it does say this. Let me see this. And I quote from the Black Arts book. The New Testament makes it clear that people could use the name of Jesus, or thought they could, to cast out devils and perform other marvelous feats, even if they did not follow Jesus or accept his teachings. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have we not casted out devils? And in thy name done many wonderful works? And then I will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me. Ye, what is this? I was like, ye that work iniquity. In the later passage, when certain Jews are trying to expel a devil, adjuring it by Jesus, whom Paul preacheth, the devil replies, Jesus I know, and Paul I know, but who are ye? Ooh. And that's where it is. You start grabbing your crucifix. That lady said it to me. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I stand before him. I stand beside him. He's gone before me. He knows not of you. Realistically, and that's where it is. You swear by Jesus, but Jesus swears he doesn't know you. At no point during your life have you took the time to get to know Jesus. Really? Mm-hmm. Moving on. It's entirely wrong-headed and contrary to all magical principles because the name of power ought to work automatically, but then devils are well known to delight in deception. Really? And who did I call? The devils. In the ancient world, there was a widespread belief in the existence of a secret name of infinite power which could automatically control everything in the universe. Well, I told you in my first video that I had a vision that I had to call in the emissaries of light, and I called Raphael. And during that time, I started speaking a language which I believe was Hebrew. They'll just come out of my mouth, these words. They're of a different language, but I'm not familiar with what language. It's not a language that I've been taught in my conscious awareness. But I speak certain words. They called it the ability to speak in tongues. Really? Have you ever gone to a church and they've done it? I've seen them do it. Really? Mm-hmm. They're like these, I don't know what churches they are. They're Christian, but they're very Catholic. Really? It's a gift. The power of tongues, it's the spirit, it's a language of the spirit. Really? Mm-hmm. I've seen it happen when other people got baptized in the Holy Spirit after the fast. They only did the Daniel's fast, but that was sufficient because their hearts and they were dedicated and they did the same thing. Nobody I know of has ever been asked to do the traditional 40-day fast other than myself. And that would have been an easy time where people thought I was being crazy. I had just had a baby. My life was in shambles. It should have made sense, but it didn't. And I prayed for I prayed for the baptism in the Holy Ghost, and most did too. And they received different gifts. I would definitely say mine was discernment, for sure. For sure. Going back to it. Greek tradition in the secret name of the infant power is the real name of God of the Old Testament. Really? Yeah. And so it goes in here to talk about the Zohar, and I was going to tell you about all this, but we're not. Really? Metatron said, back it up. To what? The paths of the tarot? Really? Yes. Because tarot is an ascension. And I'm not a tarot reader. I'm a healer, but I teach you using tarot because that's what tarot was meant to be. It wasn't about, let me check on this person that's not talking to you. Let's check your love life. Let's look into the person you're thinking most about. How about stop thinking about them? Really? Yeah. So anyways, as I pull tarot, and we're going to do that. We're going to do that. Let's do it before we learn it, and then you'll see how it works. Really? We could go before that in the Kabbalah and the names of power, and I could teach you the splendid light. What is the splendid light? That's how you work through this, and that's how you become a light worker. As you work through this, look, majesty, power, understanding, wisdom. So when I called from Valal earlier, he came from here, which was where? Mars. Where are we on a Mars day? When I called that angel, they said he was a former angel of the powers. Flip it over. What did I tell you? Heaven and hell are mirrored. They're parallel universes. So if I'm in this energy, which we were in it fully. We're in a Mars day, which is a fucking a warring energy. Then we brought Horus, more war. Then I brought Val, who said, stop warring. Really? Because they're on the other side. Really? Yeah, we see enough of this. Anyways, and that's where it's really funny. All right, so this is where God's identity, the splendid light. Let me explain this. In the book is written of the Sephiroth and the paths, the spirit and the conjugations of God, spheres, planes, and many other things in which may or may not exist. This weekend I did a huge teaching on the, I don't have the Torah. We read out of the Zohar. But the Zohar is a translation of the Torah, and I also have the Kabbalah, a translation of the Kabbalah. We can't have a full actual book of this because none of us speak Hebrew. So they're translated, and that's the best we can do, is hope that what we got is sufficient. Really? And I showed you how different the translations can be when I did my Bible study. I showed you the very difference between Peterson's Message Bible and the New King James Bible. So, we're a little bit blinded by this, and we have to go with the fact that we hope God gave us the right information. But going into this, and this is why I asked Wolfman, why did you want this tattooed on your back when you didn't actually know the power within it? He supposedly studies Jewish mysticism, but he doesn't understand the whole point of Jewish mysticism was ascension, to become one with God. Same thing with, with Buddhist teachings. Same thing with Hindu teachings. Same thing with Christianity. I don't understand why you guys seek power outside of God when the whole power is coming to God. It's a coming to God moment. Really? So this is the home of all magic, but the whole magic is in the ascension. Of course, Crowley and all of them got this, but it dates further back than that. This is Egyptian. This is beyond that. Really? This is Enoch. This is the beginning of time. It has to do with those planets that we're watching all the time. Really? They put them in a map. That's all. Let's talk about this. It is immaterial whether they exist or not. By doing certain things, certain results follow. Students are more earnestly warned against attributing objective reality and philosophical validity to any of them. Who wrote that? Aleister Crowley, Magic in Theory and Practice. In the Kabbalists and like the Gnostics set out to answer questions which confront any religious thinker. If God is good, how has evil entered into the world which God created? If God is merciful, then why is there pain and suffering in life? If God is limitless, infinite, and eternal, what is the connection between God and the world which is finite, limited in space and time? By definition, God is unknowable, for God is limitless, and to be known is to be limited. But then how can man know God? The Kabbalah gives two main answers to these questions. Really? The first answer is that God is the total of all things, Every idea contains its own contradiction, and God, who is the sum of all ideas, contains all contradictions. I tried to explain that to you. Welcome to the confusion and chaos. God is at one, and at the same time, God is good and evil, merciful and cruel. And that's where I look for this definition in evil. You determine evil by actions, correct? A person's actions is what makes them evil. Okay? But I promise you with all certainty, there is no force outside of yourself that can make you do good or bad. There's circumstantial conclusions that you jump to. Evil is determined by the things that we see men and women do to each other. What else is evil? Do you call God evil for natural disasters? Because that's him. But when you see a man or a woman or whatever commit evil upon each other, you say that there's a devil. There's something else there that did this. You created this outside entity that forced them to act in such a way. What is evil? The mind. Was Jeffrey Dahmer evil? No. He was powered by love, affection, attention, a desire to be closeness, sexuality, if you will. He wasn't an evil person. His acts to try to protect what you deemed was a sin, which was his love for men, is what made him so quote unquote evil. Was he dangerous to everyone? Would he drill anybody's head and drug them? Or just someone he wanted to love? Now, that in itself is all the psychology you need. People hurt the people closest to them most. Okay? He wasn't an evil person. It was his actions that you deemed were evil. And then maybe said he was a devil, or it was the devil that did it. Realistically, yeah. If you sit down and you break this down, you can break down how the mind did this. And that's what anybody that watches, crime documentaries, that's all they do is try to understand, get into the mind of these killers. They were somebody's child. They were hardworking men. They were this, that, and the other, and they snapped under pressure. They had a secret, and they went real crazy to hide their secrets. Really? Which were usually lust and impulses. The next criminals that we see that do some really dingy shit are greed. They'll do anything for some money. After that is revenge. They seek revenge. So that fucking crazy neighbor, that bitch was crazy. She was all types of crazy. She killed them. Because she held a grudge for so long. She was all types of crazy. Really? Evil. What is evil? Is there something outside that we have to fear outside? It's in the woods. There's something evil in the woods. It's a neighborhood. There's something evil in West Compton. Or I should say West Oakland on that one. Woo! Scary. There's something evil in Aurora. There's something evil in Cinco Mil, Tijuana. There's evil. It's a place where evil lives. Evil is people's actions. And what is it? Usually the evil actions are trying to hide something else. Really? It didn't start with an evil action. The evil action was taken to hide something else. Really? I'm just saying, like, what is evil? Your thoughts? That's all it was. I had evil thoughts of what I wanted to do to that lady. Did I do anything? No. But that's it. It starts in the mind of how you're going to get them because they have wronged you. Really? I can't believe her. Anyways, seriously? You're going to pay them back. You're going to get them back. Those are evil thoughts. Really? Or what you're going to do? You're going to steal this money. You got this great plan to, get over on somebody, stuff like that. That's what you think is evil. What creates those ideas? The mind. There's no fucking devil outside of you telling you to do this. Your mastermind came up with this evil plan. And now you've all of a sudden become an evil person because you listen to your mind. Really? Oh, that thing comes up with some great thoughts, huh? You are not your thoughts. Don't give in to every single one. You're going to end up in jail. Moving on. The Kabbalah gives two. Yeah, yeah. God is one and the same as good and evil, merciful and cruel, limitless and limited. Is God cruel? Oh, I feel like he'd be putting us through some shit. I'd be throwing a fit at him. The second answer is that, well, I mean, as far as his justice, that's kind of cruel. The second answer is that the connection between God and the world is indirect. Whatever. It's a mirror. Here goes. As if God were a mirror from which shines a great light. The light is reflected in a second mirror, which reflects into a third and into a fourth, and so on. With each reflection of light, the mirror some loses some of their pure glow, until at last the light shines dimly from the crack and the tarnish and the surface of our finite evil world. Really? Well, I guess that's a good way to put it as a light worker. In the beginning, all that existed was God and nothing. God sent out into the nothing and emanated himself, often described as light. From this came a whole succession of emanation. There were 10 of them altogether, each succession emanation containing less of the divine substance, and 10 emanations called the Sephiroth. Numbers and categories. In typical paradox language, the Zohar explains. I don't have the Zohar. Really? I mean, I don't have the Talmud, but the Zohar says this. The age, the unknown of the unknown, has a form and yet has no form. He has a form whereby the universe is preserved and yet has no form because he cannot be comprehended. I told you this a million times up there, in this place, there's no form. Nothing has form. I told you this a million times. There's no walls. There's no dividers. There's no doors, and nobody wears a body. What did I tell you? It's light. It's all it is. How does that? I can't really show you. Shades of light, I suppose. Just like there's 50 shades of gray. I guess that's how you could see it because gray is a form of light, but they're not. And then there's God, the brightest light. What is God? I told you he's just this light. Really? It's like you're not walking through a hallway, but almost as if. But the hallway is not outside of where we are, but all over it. Is there one entrance? No. It's so hard to describe. This is what I'm telling you. They're not rooms, they're not distant. It's all open. But yet, in that open, that's what I said, chaos and confusion. I can't, my brain can see it, my eyes can see it. I can't put words to what my eyes are seeing, what it's showing me. It's nearly impossible to find words to describe how it's layered. They did it like this. And yes, as soon as you approach first level. But they're not levels in the sense of you got to walk upstairs or they're up there. There's no space. Don't know how to explain it. It's so hard. I don't know if anybody has ever tried to. It's really like the best way you can explain it is the two words, micro to the macro, because you're in this, you can only see as far as your eyes see. So it brings the picture in. But the more you go into the picture, the bigger the picture gets. So imagine you kind of like walking, but again, there's no structure. So you just kind of step into the light. And now, as if, but there isn't, all these open doorways. But there's no structure to it. There's just paths. There's no distance between the paths. They're just open, right? And you can see fully in them, but the more you get in them, they just get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's not like you get into the middle and you can't get back to the back because as soon as you're still in the middle, you're just as close. There's no space. Space, like you just occupy space and it just spreads. I don't know how to explain it. And they don't have form. They're not in bodies. They're light bodies. The closer you approach them, they can they can take a reflection of a form that might be familiar to your eyes, but no, everything is just light. I've said this a million times. If I could rip open my body and show you what my soul is, it's just bright light. What does it look like? A star at night? That's what all of them look like. That light. The brightest star that you see at night, that's what everybody looks like up there. But it's not like they're light and they're in dark, because it's light on top of light and more light. And then there's God, the brightest light. Is he bright like the sun? No, it's a different light. It's a blinding light. The best I could describe it once was when the or when the sun reflects off of the snow on a fresh new day, and it's blinding. That's God's light. That's God's light. If you were to look at him, it would blind you. And that's why he's the light in everything. And that's what it says. You see fragments of him in this world. You can see his light. People seen it. I watched it happen in the dollar store today. This guy, he was with his girl and he just stopped. He couldn't, she's like, what up? What's up? He just stopped. He recognized my spiritual authority or something. I'm not dressed that pretty or anything. He just stopped. He just stopped. I watched him. It was so weird. It was like a glitch in the fucking matrix. He was in the middle of movement and they were getting a cart and they were just walking into the store and I was paying and I grabbed my bag and I turned around and it was like the matrix stopped and he just stopped there and she's still moving and he's not. He's just staring at me. Like he saw me, like he saw an alien. He's like in shock. The eye movement that he's like looking at me. It was just a quick moment. It happens that fast. I just walked past him. But in that moment, everything stopped. Really? And he saw the light. He saw my light. He didn't see me. He doesn't know what he saw. And that's what she's going to say. Why were you staring at her? I have no idea. And he'll just keep remembering my image. Really? He stared me right in the fucking eyes. It was weird as fuck. But in that sense, as you see God in all things. You see him in the morning sun. You see him as the sun is setting. You see him in the breeze. You see him in the clouds. You see him in the radio. You see him. I see him. That's why I was like, I see you, God. You can see him through the darkness, is what they are describing right here. He's not the only thing you can see through the darkness. Once you've learned how to walk through the darkness, you know who's in there with you, I suppose, and what to look for while you're in there. Really? Yeah. As it says this, he concealed and comprehended, and we can only comprehend him through the luminous emanations, again, are partial visuals and partially concealed. These constitute the sacred name of God. The splendid lights of the Sephiroth constitute the sacred name of God because they are God's identity. So if you were to walk in, right? So here, I'm going to walk you in. We're walking into the gates of heaven. I've seen this already a billion times with the twin flames. We don't get washed in light. We actually remain in our dark. As we are the darkest thing that walks through there. We're like dark entities that walk through this. Really? Straight here. We walk straight through the crowds and they're clapping. Really? They're throwing a huge fucking party. Really? You guys are all amazed by it, but I've already seen this a million times. And my job is just to walk you through. Really? And I walk you straight up to God. Right here with the seraphim, there's no such thing as clouds, but perhaps there's rows and rows and rows, almost like an auditorium. It's not a structure, just rows and rows of the highest ranking angels. How many? I don't know. I never thought about that. How many rows of them there are? Well, because it's circular, but there's no end to God. It's not like they close him in. It's like a circular thing. I can't tell you. I don't know. Hundreds upon thousands. We cut right through and we come right in and we're standing before the light. And there's this huge round of applause. And that's the end. Really? It's the last memory I got. I've seen it. I know it works. It's a really cool entrance that we make. And we're totally still in our dark forms. It's almost like we restored our darkness. We didn't have to. Really? And then what? Full freedom. We don't have to stay in the light. We can return to wherever we like now. We've earned our place. Really? It was just about coming home. We don't have to live here forever. We're glad to have you back. How long are you staying? I'm going to hang out with some of you because some of you are cool, and then I'm out of here. Really, we're kind of terrors of the night. You will figure that out later. Really, yeah. So that's how it works. But it's not like we got to take this long ass journey. It's not like we're walking through hallways and hallways to get to God. No, it's all open. It's just open. Just various se- open, secluded spaces. As I said, it doesn't. Everything you say doesn't make sense. I'm trying to. It's like it's open, but there's in this space of openness, it's secluded to only, you know what I mean? That. So here's Jesus and all the ascending masters. All of them, bro, sit over here. They don't sit around God all fucking day just praising, and that's all they do. I swear to God, that's all they do. That's where fucking Lucifer's from. Annoying. What they do, they just bow to God and sing praises. They just tell him how great he is and how wonderful he is, and that's it. If you think about it, that's very godly of all of you. That's that God complex that all of you have. You just want to hear everybody shout your fucking name. Oh, is that what you're going for? That's about all you're gonna get out of me. Seriously, something like that. But that's what you. That was a little much, Lilith. Hey, I know what they want. I know what the fellows want. Just kidding. Sorry, they were talking about something else. But you guys go crazy to hear the girls on the stage or whatever the fucking situation is. You want people all applause. You want to be God. All right, take it easy, Lucifer. You all have it. It's a God complex. You get it from your father, who, wherever heaven might not be, is there, and that's where you got it from. Really? That's a trait of God, wanting to be worshipped. It's so very godly, or maybe ungodly. And that's just what it is. Why? Because God made sure that He did, that everything had respect and was worshipped. The angels were worshipped. But then you take something like Lucifer that feels undervalued, unappreciated, unimportant, like so many of you, and it gets a little out of control. Realistically, just a little bit. It's like you love them more. Hey, take it easy, Cain and Abel. Really? Well, I'm just saying this energy is getting a little played out, if you ask me. Going back to it, that's where they are. That's all they do. Really, over here is councils, and then we sit here. I sit with them, not purposely. Which means what? I don't really sit with them. My throne is over here. It's parallel. Really, so every time I sit in my chair, I'm like, you turn on the TV and it's them. It's fucking parliament, fucking design parliament or divine parliament going on all the time. I told you that it's terrible. Really, yes. Really, I'd rather watch some pain and suffering, some struggles. I'm like, in that sense, I'm like, I'm like Royce. I'd rather watch these guys fight till the bloody end. We're so evil in that sense. Release the side chick. It's like the Jerry Springer show. Really? Hell? Yes. Where do you think Jerry came up with that idea? Where's Jerry Springer? Oh, certainly serving a lifetime in hell like the rest of us. You created a game show of pain and suffering. Jerry. If I was back at home, I'd be calling for Jerry. Jerry. That's Jerry Springer. You don't know who Jerry Springer is? Jerry Springer is going to be in the next edition of our Dark Tarot cards. If we could give Jerry Springer a card, what card would we give him? There's a good one, tarot people. He deserves a card in the tarot deck. I get to choose my favorites, Of course, I sit next to Jeffy. Jeffy just loved. He was just a little psychotic lover. How can you not love this little guy? He was crazy. Talk about crazy in love. He's a reminder, don't go that crazy for the dick. Or furthermore, trying to hide what you were in love with. Really, that's kind of all Jeffy really did. He was just trying to hide that he was gay. He worked at it better than some of you. Welcome to the 25 million LGBTQ community that we currently have here in America. Really? Pick a flag. Mine is the mayonnaise. Just kidding. My daughter said mayonnaise has a flag. Actually, I have the child sexual abuse survivor flag. Really? They have one for those. I get to wave that flag. Really? Makes people not try to have sex with me. Says I've been abused. Leave me alone. Really? They have a flag for that. Wave your flag proudly. If I put that flag outside of my house, people would be so confused. Do you think they'd give it a salute after they Googled it? Really? It'd make them think twice. Really? Don't burn this flag. Maybe we should just put a mayonnaise flag out there and just say, call it cool. Why do they have a mayonnaise? Or how about my Oscar Mayer wiener? Have you guys ever seen the freaking Oscar Mayer wiener mobile? I saw that shit cruise through downtown Denver one day. Swear to God, it went down Lincoln Street, bro. I watched it. I swear that is funny as fuck. My baloney has a first name. It's Oscar. If we ever hooked up, bro, I swear that'd be our wedding gift to the world. I'd be saying that all the time. You got married? Yeah, my baloney has a first name. I almost want to marry a dude named Oscar just for that joke. Really, that's a good joke. Really, I mean, next to me calling Marshall Mars bars for all these years. Really, that's a good joke in itself. I always thought so. We could just laugh at Russ just for fun. Okay, let's get back to, the angels and what they do up there. This is what they be doing. The splendid light. The universe and God and the Sephiroth are paths of God, facets of God of the universe personality. They provide a path by which man can reach God. From classic times down to the 16th century, it was generally accepted that the universe is made of 9 spheres. Is that Odin and the 9 realms? I'm talking to you again, Marshall. Really? You don't know in which you've come? Realistically, we've come a long way, my friend. Look at where we are. We're stuck on this planet. You're doing no better than me. Not really. I think you suck. Okay, moving on. You just got more money. Really? You got more problems. More money is more problems. Really? I bet if I was as rich as you, I'd be as fucked up too. That's why I had to go through all being fucked up without having money. That way I don't end up fucked up like you when I do. Really? Anyways. Classical times, blah, blah, blah. The 9 spheres, where were we? 16th century, God's sphere, blah, what? 9 spheres, which could arrange like the skin of an onion. That's what I said, I'm like an onion. Other sides, one side, one outside of the other. The outer skin. Here, let me pull the skin back. I'm just like, I gotta fucking strip your flesh. These are all dirty sayings. The outer skin is the sphere of God as the prime mover. Inside is the sphere of the stars, and the inside again are the 7 spheres of the 7 planets. The innermost sphere belongs to the moon, and the earth hangs inside of it. It belongs to the moon. Say it again. Say it again. The innermost sphere belongs to the moon, and the earth hangs inside of it. In the earthly centuries after Christ, the idea spread throughout the Mediterranean world that a soul comes originally from God and descends through the 9 spheres to earth, where it is imprisoned in a human body. The soul longs for a reunion with God and can achieve it by climbing back through the spheres to heaven. We do this weekly, people. Really? Well, I'm trying to get you there. But each sphere is guarded by angels, and the space between the earth and the moon is crowded with legions of devils. Really, I got control over them. I'll hold them back if you're doing the right thing. Otherwise, I'm going to let them go. And I told you that a million times. I'm so tired of repeating this because nobody ever believes it. When are you going to ever believe this shit? As the goddess of the moon. What is it? Say it again. I told you. I'm calling the devils on you. Really? They're already here. Mm-hmm. Moving on. It's not like they're somewhere else. They fell to the earth. Hello. What are the devils? The fallen angels. Choice to be made, I suppose. All right, here we go. Where does it say? You descend. The soul longs for reunion to climbing back to the spheres of heaven. But each sphere is guarded by angels, and the space between earth and the moon, from here to here, you have to face your demons and devils, bro. I tell you that all the time. Which is what? Technically, it's in your mind and your emotions. This is what we gotta do, people. You got to go through all of the demons and devils, all the layers of hell to get back to heaven. I told you this a million times. The worst part is right here. Really? It's all that shit that lives within your brain. Really? Told you. The guardians of the spheres will try to turn it back. Only those initiated into the secret traditions know the passwords which make the guardians yield and open their gates. Really? And who am I? I told you. I'm the gatekeeper. I can get you in here, And that's what it is like, well, your character decides if you're going to make it through this. Really? Mm-hmm. And that's what it means. We're supposed to initiate Wolfman. Really? Yes. Let's see what happened. I don't know. Never initiated anyone other than myself. Let's see what happens to the initiate. For those initiated into the secret editions, know the password, which makes them the guardian, makes the guardians yield and open their gates for the soul to continue on its way to God. Again, it is knowledge which clears the way for the soul, not leading a good life, which is what you have to have learned your lessons. You have to report to them. You have to know the answer to the riddle. Sort of. Ready? Here we go. When the soul leaves God, it makes its way down through the spheres to the earth. It gathers characteristics from each sphere in turn. Qualities of courage and ferocity come from the sphere of Mars, for instance. Where are we today? Today is Tuesday, ruled by the planet Mars. I've been anointing myself with this shit all day. I told you. What's it smell like? Man. It smells like a man. Really? That's all we got to. Okay, moving on. At the end of the process, the soul is like an onion. Oh, where? What? These characteristics are added to the soul like skin or garments in layer. And that's what it means about your natal chart. What's in your Mars placement? Really? Yes. So that's going to be your ferocity and your courage. What is it? Sorry, I was laughing. It could be something weenie like a Cancer. Anyways, each layer outside of one before. The last garments, the outer layer, which comes from earth, is the physical body. At the end of the process, the soul is like an onion with several skins, a miniature image of the onion-shaped cosmo itself. Really? And that's why we have to go through all layers of our being, which is working through our planetary system. Really? Though the layers are in the reverse order. When death comes, the soul sheds the skin. First, that's why we're doing this. We're having a death, transformation, and what? Rebirth. So first, you got to let go of your material world, Wolfman. First, the physical body and the other layers one by one, and the soul rises through the spheres towards God. They said the only way to get to God was to die. We can either do it physically or we can do it mentally. Do you want to wait till you die to meet God, or you want to meet God in this life and experience heaven on earth? Ooh. Do you want the red pill or the blue pill? Put the pills, dude. Stop taking pills, and especially not with alcohol. Is that for your blood pressure? Hey, listen here, Viagra. Put it down. The Kabbalah is based on the theory of the soul's. Hey, do you take Viagra? Because you're like over 40. Do you do that? That's gonna hurt you later. Why do you need blood flowing for 4 hours in that direction? That's not good for the blood flow. Really? I feel like your dick's gonna hurt after that. I don't know. I never took the shit. It's not my dick. That's not. I guess if it doesn't work to begin with, you don't have any feeling. I guess it feels good. I'm not getting into your dick problems, Dick Tracy. All I'm saying is you need to clean your chakras. Let me heat that up for you. I'm gonna die. I can't ever not say nothing nasty. Oh, I'm always there for a nasty joke. Sorry. I don't know. The Kabbalah is based on the theory that the soul's descent and ascent through the spheres, though it has 10 spheres instead of 9, because the Kabbalists were influenced by the Pythagorean theory. Earth is given a separate sphere. And the last Sephirah above this are 7 Sephiroth at the top, which at the sphere of the stars and the prime mover. Man achieves union with God by climbing up through the Sephiroth to each of their source. Each Sephirah is guarded by an order of angels, and their guardians will try to turn the climber back. Really? I don't know about all that. I would say that your old life tries to pull you back. I wouldn't say that there's something on the other side holding you back. It's just harder challenges. New levels, new devils. I guess. Yeah, I guess. When you say it like that. Because it gets harder, the things you're facing in your pursuit of getting right with God, you face harder challenges. They're the same ones. We're right back to facing lust again. Now it's going to be harder. Right back to facing greed again. The seven what? Deadly sins are to be replaced by what? The seven holy virtues. So we're constantly working through it. And that's what, you know what I mean, Dante was trying to describe. For those that know nothing of what I'm talking about, there's a great movie. Don't watch it around your kids, it's very graphic. Called Seven. I don't know if it's on Netflix or Hulu or where, but you could watch that shit. Confirmation. And that teaches you about the seven deadly sins and what it was like a killer that used this book to execute against criminals, whatever the case may be. But that's what we face. And we have to keep facing these, overcoming them. It's the same challenges over and over, and they roll them out. You know what I mean? Everything is it's on a schedule, believe it or not. And that's what I said as we were going through the 818 gate, they were creating next year's schedule, which is our challengers. What challenges we will face in the next year. If you did not overcome the challenges of this year, well, then you'll face them again next year. But as you go deeper into it, it becomes more and more challenging. The adversity. But you don't lose. You just keep learning. Really? Yeah, that's all. It's better to be in a different, a new challenge than the same old, same hoe. Really? Yeah. Okay, each Sephira is guided by an order of angels, and their guardians will try to turn the climber back. And in the lower spheres, there are plenty of sinister intelligences that are very ready to trap an aspiring soul which is ignorant and careless. Those are always waiting for you. Those are always waiting for you. They're waiting for some idiot to pick up a Ouija board or somebody to come playing around in the dark like Wolfman. Wolfman was very lucky. He said in his ayahuasca he was trying to approach this dark hole, and that Archangel Michael stood before him and said he could not, and not this one. And I told him what would happen if he went in there. Really? They'll eat you alive. Which is what? Your own thoughts and feelings. Thank you very much. That's what they feed off of. Really? The fuel is the things that you're afraid of, the things that your own hurts, your own pains, your own fears. Really? And how do they get to you? Through the mind. Same as any dark practitioner. Really? Yes. So that's why the work I do is so imperative, because I'm helping people clean out the very things that darkness feeds off of. Really? Again, like I told Kanye, anybody like me could come into your life and whisper some really unusual things in your ear and make you lose your mind. Really? Why? Because I know you're the same thing. I know your weaknesses. I know your thoughts. I know your shames. I know your fears. I can use that to destroy you. Or we can just face it and you don't have those. Realistically, how about we talk about your problems? Fine, I'm going to talk about your problems then. If you don't want to talk about your problems, you got fucking problems. Realistically, something like that. And that's why you got to watch out for that. Really? Yeah, so when I had my awakening, oh shit, I was under all kinds of attack. Spiritual attack, like you wouldn't believe. Really? Well, there was paid spiritual attack that was happening outside of me. It wasn't like the darkness didn't want me to wake up. The darkness in mankind didn't want me to wake up. Why? First off, I went out proclaiming what I was, and I tagged all of my, you know what I mean? I tagged all of my twin flames. So when I was tagging Kanye in the beginning and talking shit to Kim in the very beginning, she was seeing this. When I was tagging fucking Will Smith and talking shit to Jada Pickett in the name of Puck, she's seen this. When I was talking shit, to Russ's mom and tagging him, they seen this. Those are just the top 3 people that we know publicly that fuck around with spiritual juju. Right? So we already know, because she blasted herself, that Kim goes to psychics. And they lied to her. She was supposed to win. She was supposed to pass the bar. You didn't do the work, bitch. It's not given. Go back to school, dumbass. Anyways, going back to that. We knew that Russ's mom was what does she call? An intuitive life coach? You know what I mean? So when we did all this, what did they do? They went to go see us. They went to go get a reading. Is what she says is true? Is she their twin flame? What happened, ladies and gentlemen? Have you not done that yourself, fellas? Haven't just go put some money on it and find out the truth because you don't believe me? They did. And what they got confirmed to them and scared the shit out of them. So then what else did they do? They went on to go look for dark practitioners to break cords, send hexes, do all kinds of great shit. Realistically, oh yeah, the internet was full of it. And before they shut that shit down on Etsy's just last year, anybody could get any kind of spiritual work done off of there. So I was under all kinds of fucking attack. Really? But it was perfect because, again, they were sending dark attacks, which dark attacks are meant to bring up your shadows. All of my shadows were repressed and hidden. I couldn't access them. They were in a part of my brain that I couldn't access. So when I was under spiritual attack, it was forcing these shadows to the surface. They were meant to kill me, of course, make me go mad and crazy and kill myself. And don't get me wrong, all of them are very suicidal. You really want to kill yourself. It's like, this is terrible pain. I can't deal with this. So it was all purposes intended to, you know what I mean, to make me suffer, which I did. But each time I did, every time I faced one, I became more and more powerful. So, in their attempts to stop me, all they did was help me. I needed help to access my own pain. And what better way than to magically induce it? Really? Oh, I was under a lot of spiritual attack. The only one that fully knew when I was under so much would have been Marshall. Because I knew when I was taking magical attacks to the body. I could feel him hit my body. And I would tell him about him, but I wouldn't make any public notification because if they had any idea it was working, they were going to push it. But every time they did something, it looked like it didn't work, which I was alchemizing it, but it did have effects on my body. Seriously? Mm-hmm. So, because I was holding it all in and that kind of darkness, you know what I mean? The alchem, it's like pipes, I suppose. You know what I mean? Holding all of that inside of the wrong pipage, it was gonna have some effects on my body. But I didn't let other people know that I was just saying, you know what I mean? I'm under spiritual attack. I didn't let them know that they were actually attacking. They were hitting me. The only one I actually fully let everyone know hit me was the last one, and that was in Oklahoma, because I couldn't stop it. It came out of nowhere, and I saw it coming. I saw all my spirit guides part, and I saw this thing come straight railing at me at a fucking and standing in Mr. Plum's living room. It hit me so hard. What was it? Poverty. Poverty. I was going through a hard time right there, and they knew that I was struggling with money issues. I had just lost my job, so it was the perfect time to send one of those at me. And I had all protection that stopped them prior to that, plus all of the magical work that I do to stay cleansed. I'm telling you, when I see this, I watched my spirit guides get out of the way. They parted like the sea and let it in. I knew that it was called by God. God let this happen. Their job is to make sure nothing comes in. That was the last time I saw. I endured an attack. There's been times where I'm in the middle of a sentence or something, and I can see it coming and then drop. I can see magic. They're sending magical intent. What is it? Thoughts are intentions set out into the universe, fueled with certain herbs, some candles, some oils. That's how they travel. The unseen is very real. Just because you can't see it, I can see this shit. Seriously, the magical workings. Realistically, so going back to that is like, as you start descending, yeah, and that's because people don't want you to wake up. They don't want you to become a better person. They don't want you, and that's where even your own, you know what I mean, those closest to you are trying to hold you back. Really? No. There's something about this, and you can look at Kanye. Why didn't they just let him? There was something about Kanye becoming spiritual, he wasn't necessarily religious. But when he was going through that and he wanted to change into gospel music and he wanted to change his image and he wanted his wife to change her image and he wanted to start creating churches, he got pretty far with that shit. He bought a house in fucking, what was it, Wyoming? He got away from the fast life. He started having, you know what I mean? Some kind of midlife crisis that looked like it was going in a positive direction, but because it was not, you know what I mean, it wasn't Kanye and it wasn't what he was, they stopped him. They told him he was sick. They put him in a hospital. They put him on medication. Then, later it just went on and on because he went mad, obviously. His heart was telling him to do one thing. His mind was telling him to do another. And the whole world is persecuting him for trying to follow his heart. What'd he do? He gave up on this vision. his creative vision. He completely abandoned it. He abandoned the house in freaking Wyoming. He abandoned his fucking churches. He abandoned the whole idea and just, you know what I mean? Tried to put the pieces back together and put himself back together and forget that it ever happened. Really? Yeah. But what would have happened if he would have succeeded? And that's an example. Something, when you go through these things, everybody persecutes you. They don't want you to lose your job. They don't want you to change. They don't want you to become something different. Why? I'm not really sure. In most cases, I guess it's because they're going to lose access. They think they're going to lose access to you, or they're going to lose, you know what I mean, access to your bag. I'm not really sure, but most people get pulled back by outside circumstances. I'm the only one that I know that's ever made it through. To this day, I'm the only awoken soul who has made it back to God and back with my soul's knowing. I attained my higher self. I don't know why, you know what I mean? Most people believe in something called the higher self, and they're like, you know, trying to supposedly listen to their higher self or become their better version of themselves. But I don't know what they're not doing. The splendid light of the Sephiroth constitutes the names of God because they are God's identity. The universe is God, and the Sephiroth are parts of God, facets of God, and the universe personality. Oh, yeah, we were over on this side. The Kabbalah is based on the theory that the soul's descent. We talked about that. Although many Kabbalists have led devout and blameless lives, thick veins of magic and sorcery are not far beneath the Kabbalist's surface. The essential doctrine of the Kabbalists is that death is not necessarily preliminary to the soul's ascent through the spheres. Told you, just because you die doesn't mean you go back to heaven. You go to heaven. The soul can climb the ladder of the Sephiroth while still in the body, and man can make himself God on earth. The 10 Sephiroth are the great driving forces which move through the universe and impulse which move man. Which are they? The planets. They influence the universe and man. So, what do we got going on? A lot. I'm like, where's that book? I'm like, a lot. We have a solar eclipse, which is that on its own is going to bring all kinds of fucked up energy. I mean, a lunar eclipse. So a full moon on itself. This is the full moon in Pisces, right? So Pisces is the intuitive side of Jupiter, right? It's the water side of Jupiter, and it can be in some cases considered the High Priestess card because it's the mystical sides, right? It's the mysticism of all that. So you have a full moon in mysticism, and then the, you know what I mean, and then the moon or the sun is going to come and blast it. Really? Well, the lunar eclipse is the sun is in front of it or the moon is in front of it. It doesn't even matter. It's just too much energy. Realistically, it's like Thor standing in front of the star. Thor's about to get kind of cooked, don't you think? After the star moves, you're still stuck with the energy that's, you know what I mean? It's like burning popcorn in the microwave. You can throw the popcorn away, but the smell is still there for quite some time, which is what? Energy. Do you smell that? That's bad energy. It's like solar eclipse energy. Just kidding. We are in some shitty ass energy. And then we got what did Steve's love tarot share today? Mercury and Virgo. Yeah, that's what they said. Okay, hold on. Watch. And that's why we watch this, because this influences what the fuck is gonna happen to us. It's positive. That's why you're like, how did they know? Because the planets do this shit, and when they do this shit, it does this shit to us. Where are we at? September? No, almost. Damn, we're pretty close. Let's see. Tuesday, Mercury moves into Virgo. Is that today? Yeah. Carefree summer period is finally over. It's back to work, school, and the paramedic pursuits, right? That's what we did today. My kids went back to school. Hey, I got on unemployment. Dude, she was so fucking smart. I was like, you're a fucking genius. She did it to me, dude. She's like, so what were the dates? I was like, please don't. And she saw me melt down. I can't remember. You don't. She's like, well, maybe if you can remember some of the things that were happening. I said, I put my phone down, I closed my eyes, and I covered my head. That's when you know I'm like really about to lose it. When I cover my head. I'm like, you don't understand how disassociated amnesia works. I don't block out an event. I block out a time. Anything that happened in that gap of time, I will not remember. It wasn't that. It was whatever was happening in that time. When did I work there? How did you figure it out? She was smart. She said, let's look at your direct deposits from last year. That was fucking genius, bro. She looked at that. We could look at the pay date. And then she was like, okay, if you got paid on this day, then we can average out that this was, you know what I mean, a 2 week pay period. And we could figure it out when your start date was. That was genius, bro. She was genius. Really, that, and she had a lot of documentation sent from the Salvation Army. She had my job offer for the other jobs. She had all of that information. Really? Mm-hmm. It was pretty interesting. So we were able to do that based on, she's like, well, they always say follow the money. I was like, that was really smart. So I was able to figure that out and file my unemployment, and that's what we were supposed to do today, was go back to doing stupid shit. Thursday is an auspicious day to tackle cerebral tasks, harness your brain power towards fulfilling your life goals. The week's main astrological event is Friday's lunar eclipse in Pisces. Be prepared. It's best to be prepared in advance. Should be noted that this is one of the most challenging days of the whole year. What does that mean? I don't give a shit how many fucked up days you've had this year. Friday's gonna rock your fucking world. Now, around here, we're used to this. Because what? Friday is what? Friday, then. We do this every fucking Friday. Which is what? A tower. And it can come when? On a Thursday night. And the fact that I invited people to come to my fucking full moon ceremony is asking for trouble. Really? I'm just asking for it, aren't I, though? Anyways, moving on. Really? I'm just telling you. That's all the warning you get. It says this is the most challenging day of the year, or days, which are remarkable few. Really? Yes. Confusion permeates the air with the T square with Uranus and Mercury. Really? And overconfidence in one's analytical abilities may be rushing, or excuse me, may lead to rushed decision making without doing any proper research. Which means what? You buy tickets to a fucking to a location that's about to get a hurricane? That's what I saw. Hey, there's a hurricane coming. Which one? I think its name is Melissa. Watch out for that one. I don't know where you bought tickets to the fucking to the fuck fest. Really? You're fucked. Slow down and take time to think. Really? Yeah, it says watch out. Weekend outlook. The heaven gives us a day off on Saturday. Really? Because it fucks us up on Sunday. We're just left in the remains of Sunday or of Friday. I mean, really? It says Friday's fucked off. They let us recover on Saturday. Sunday is spontaneous. Really? And that's why we read this every week. Probably has to do with the gods too, because each of these days are being ruled by a god. So who comes on Saturday? Okay, what do we got here? Oh, it'll be Isis. It'll be me. Really? Well, that's the best we can do. Salvation. That's the best I can bring you. Really? Fridays suck around here. You do this every Friday? Yeah, I told you. It's the fucking hang out with Kobe and feel sorry because we didn't get invited to a party, so we got to do real work around here. Seriously? It's funny. Did you see him in my shorts? That was a sad thing. It's like, oh, he didn't get invited to the party, so he became the best basketball player in the world. You sound real pathetic. You sound like Pac in your terrible love life. You really make it sound sad out here. I feel sorry for you. Really? That's why Kobe didn't have no friends, because it just wasn't friendly. Really? It wasn't made to be. You were set apart, buddy. Pop's over there looking at Biggie. Okay, enough. You guys are enough. I don't want to hear you guys' dead life problems. Moving on. So where were we at? We watched the planets because they fuck us up. The 10 Sephiroth are the great driving forces which move the universe and impulses which move man. As he rises through the spheres, the magician knows and becomes and controls the power forces of each Sephiroth. Paul Ricci, a Jew turned Christian who became a professor of Greek and Hebrew at University of Pavia in 1521, said that the lore of the Kabbalah enumerates many sacred names to be invoked and the various bodily movements, breathing postures, and exercises, by means in which we attain more easily and beyond the use of nature to the glories of the Eternal Father and our prerogatives of this world, which resemble them. Really? Yeah. Let's move on. All right. Occult groups teach the techniques of the ascent through the spheres, frequently have 10 ranks or grades corresponding with the Sephiroth. Crowley made this symbol. can't read that. You see it? In Crowley's A triangle, A triangle. The student began as a whatever in the 10th. Well, I already told you that. They're all triangles. We gotta move through the triangles, people. The Sephiroth of Earth and became a Zeltor 9 in the moon, in which rank he had to achieve proficiency in certain practices which resemble yoga. As practices in 8 in Mercury, he completed his intellectual training and studied the Kabbalah. As the Philophysis in 7, really? So he's moving up, down, over. He's probably going to go like this. That's usually how they do it. Really? That's this weird symbol. Let's see. Where did we say? We were up here. He completed his moral training and was tested in devotion to the order. The next grade, Adaptus Minor, 6, the sun, invoked the attainment of the knowledge and conversation of the Holy Guardian Angel, a rite of sex magic to which Crowley attached great importance. As the Adaptus Major of Mars, yeah, see, you went through the sun and then he went into Mars. Makes sense. Told you. The adept obtained a general mastery of practical magic, including such matters of detail as securing wanted objects, gold, women. Is that where you are, Mars? Wolfman, how am I ever going to teach you this? You see it as in the material realm. You've read all of this, but you don't get it. I'm just going to stop there for a minute. These are what you obtain through it, right? So the kingdom, the foundation, the magistry, endurance, of course, and that's Venus, bro. It fucks with us all the time. Beauty, power, love, understanding, wisdom, supreme crown. Now let me show you something. It says all that. This is how we start. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then what? We shoot up to here. We shoot straight up into here. In the last days, which is Saturday and Sunday. Sunday, you should be closest to God, which is you should have let something die. And you're reborn, the resurrection. Really happens before, again, I would say before you hit Tuesday, because once you're back in your moon, that's where all your devils are. That's where you're facing it again. You're back in your fucking mind and your emotions. Mondays are always purges. They're a dark night of the soul day, just as much as a Wednesday. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. Saturday pushes your limitations, but naturally, because that's the highest throne, that's why it would do so. They rule over days of the week. Here's Sunday, which is you're supposed to be full of yourself, but you're supposed to go through this. The death and the transformation happens right here. And this is where Jesus and all of them are. But I promise you, this, in this area right here, this is where myself and Metatron live. Melchizedek's down here somewhere. We're up here. But it's not like we're far. It's not like I can't, it's not like there's any space. I'm just saying it's a different reality. It's a different room if there was a room, but it's not a room. It's just darkness. Here's the light. Here's the dark. Of course the darkness is behind Pluto, bro. The Lord of the underworld. Pluto represents, it's actually ruled by Hades. It's that's what it is. It's the underworld. That's by definition, that's where I live. That's my highest throne. The highest throne in heaven is the highest throne in hell. And that's what I keep trying to tell you guys. As I sit in my throne, I sit right next to the thrones. The only difference is mine is in the dark and theirs is in the light, but there's no difference. The only thing between us is you. That's it. It's not heaven and hell and earth is between. It's heaven and hell and earth is in between. But hell isn't, because in that case, what is hell? Earth. There's light and dark is what it was what you guys would describe it. You said that every kind of pain and suffering and all of that happens in the dark. Really? It was daylight when I saw this shit happen. You just hide it in the dark. Really? And that's why people are afraid by nature of the dark. I'm not. By nature, I feel comfortable in the dark. I can't stand a hot day. Really? I'm always asking God for clouds. I'm always looking for shade. It's a beautiful day, blah, 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 blah. That's his day, the day the Lord has given you. But the night, that's what he gave to me. In all scripture, Lilith rules over the night and the creatures of the night. He gave me that, realistically, as well as the dark space. And that's where it is. She's the dark goddess. She is God in a female form of the dark. I'm not against God. I'm not away from God. I'm not casted out by God. This is what God created for me. If we go back to Odin and the 9 realms, Hel, who was Loki's daughter, was given a special place to rule over, which was the underworld, where souls would come in. That's it. It wasn't a dark, terrible place. That goes back to Pluto. Hades. What was Hades? The Lord of, or the world of the dead, which is the unalive. It doesn't always have to be the worst dead. It's just the unalive. Really? And in the form of dead, that means they were alive. That means they have great stories. They lived great lives. They are unalive. Really, as far as that, no, those are all God's angels and deities and blah, 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 blah. But as you go through this, again, I tell you, the figures from the past walk you through this path, that you're the initiated path, that because you're on a path that they took in their life. They're there to guide you. They've already walked this path before you. They're there to walk you. And that's what I do. As the goddess of the moon, I already did this. I'll walk you through death. I tell you this all the time. I told you, when you die, you will meet me. A female spirit will be waiting for you on the other side. Hey, I'm in the room. I'm pretty sure she's in the room calling me. When she thinks I'm outside. I'm outside a lot. That's why that is. All right, let's talk about how you get through there. It goes on and on and on. The mother. Here we go. Watch this. The opposite Roth, the Bana, which is the female, right here, is the passive principle of God, called the mother, the throne, the great sea. Right? The Homak acts as the Bana. What is it?
We need to go to the Dollar Tree and get some school supplies.
What are you missing?
3 binders and a book of paper.
See if there's anything in there.
I checked.
Are you sure?
There's no binders in any of them.
No binders. What do you mean?
No binders.
I don't think we can necessarily get them at the store. We can go to Walmart. I hate Walmart. At least I still have makeup on if we gotta go. Fucking hate. Hey, if that's all we gotta get, if we made it through all of this and never had to buy anything but a couple of things, and then we did good.
Hey, there's a whole bunch of notebooks in here, so that's fine.
Did you need any of that?
Yeah. I didn't know the paper.
Okay. See? All right. Well, when do we gotta go?
By tomorrow.
By tomorrow? You're using it tomorrow?
Yeah.
What time is it now?
6.
Fucking hate Walmart. God damn me. All right, we're gonna vacuum my car while we go then. All right, put your clothes on, put your bra on, put your life on. Put your bra on. She doesn't wear a bra. Anyways, moving on. Venus, Mars, Mercury. The sphere of Saturn, Mars, and Mercury are all classified as females. This is the female side. Really? Wonder why I call you. Just kidding. I'm so good about that. God, I'm doing so good. Aren't you proud of me? Pop doesn't care, but still. He enjoyed me calling everyone bitches. Really? It's just enjoyable. Marshall liked it until I was calling him a bitch. Then he didn't like it so much. It's all fun and games till I call you a bitch. Wonder why I call you bitch. Bitch. Sorry, that was just my ego. I'm just playing around. Saturn, Mars, and Mercury are classified as female, but the sphere of Venus is male. Oh, is that God's morning star? In some cases, the significance of the Sephiroth's numbers follow the standard meaning of numerology. That could be some shit that Wolfman knows. Who gives a shit? What does it say this? The first triangle of the tree shows the creative forces of God and the universe, the Kether. The first emanation of the force of God is prime mover. First cause. What does it say about Ezekiel? The first chapter of Ezekiel. Yeah, whatever. Moving on. The metal picture which Kabbalists concentrate in the meditation is an old bearded man seen in a profile. Zeus And Jupiter, the ruling gods of Greece and Rome, were classical personifications of the Kether. Is that you again? I never really bother with him. With what, Marshall? I don't bother waking up his Akashic records. I'm trying to wake up his dick. Seriously, I don't really bother with this. I've told him who he is, who we were in many in other lives. Really, moving on. The ruler, blah blah blah. Seriously, I don't push it on him. Not like I'm trying to, not like, reminding Russ all the time that he's Lucifer, or reminding fucking, who these guys are. Like today we were all reminding fucking Kanye that he was Osiris, reminding fucking Wolfman that he's Hades. He wants to be Aries. That's not who you are, dipshit. You want to be something you're not, or a lower version. You want to wear the skin because the skin by the skin you're an Aries. Sure, you're at war with everyone and everything. Sure, if you want to be, but at your core, your God self, what God made you, is the Lord of the underworld. Don't be so mad. He made us all that. Really? And different times. When you weren't there, somebody else had to play that role. Really? Who did it better? There's 1,000 yous. There's only one of me. Ha ha! And the beat goes on. And the beat goes on. Really? I felt that one in my solar plexus. Which was what? A huge burst of energy because I know myself. I know thyself. Okay, moving on. I don't really do this with him. He knows that he was Zeus. Really? He knows that he was Odin. He should. He knows that he was Shiva. He should. Who does that make me? Don't even ask. The woman which can reach, the soul that which can reach this sphere, achieves union with God. Really? Well, keep working on that, guys. You haven't made it past your mind and your emotions. Not even one bit. Have any of you guys talked to an angel yet? God send me. I hate that song. What the fuck, dude? I don't like that song. That Amanda Perez God Send Me an Angel song, the only reason I know it is because I had to look it up multiple times. It's probably because I won't listen to it that they keep playing it. Fine, I'll listen to the fucking song. I don't like that song. I still haven't looked at Marla Hooch either, but that just started this week. Okay, moving on. You guys need to work through the first part, which is what? It's a 22 centimeter descent from your big fat head to your big fat heart that could take you lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. You should listen to your heart. It's so stupid. Does your heart not have a voice? Can you give it one? Are you deaf? Your heart doesn't pump for anything? Really? Let me warm that up. The joke is never going to get old. I know a lot of people don't know, but Marshall knows what I'm talking about. I told you once I discovered that joke, I was never going to stop saying that. It's my new favorite joke. Okay, moving on. Moving on. I don't know how to get you guys through this bullshit. Seriously. I tell you, but you're not listening to your heart and doing what it says. And you're definitely not listening to me. You're not listening to anyone. All right, Kanye West. God damn you. Anyways, the Banah, number 3, is female, the passive principle of God, called the mother, the throne, the great sea. The Hokmah acts as the Banah is acted upon. The Hokmah thrusts the Banah responds. The Hokmah is the active wisdom of God. The Banah is the passive understanding of God. Really? Yeah. That's really what it is. I have an understanding. I don't know what he's doing. I just understand why he's doing it. I don't know everything he's doing. Really? I just am there I'm his support team. Why didn't you tell me? It was a need to know basis. You didn't need to know. Well, I know now. Hokmah is the life-giving spirit. Banah is the waters of chaos in which are lifeless. And from what? Blah, blah, blah. It just keeps going on. Really? Who reads this shit? All right. We have the Sephiroth, which is... We have this cool little fucking chart here. The Kether is the guardian angels are the living creatures, God, Jupiter, Zeus, and old bearded king. The Hokmah doesn't have any planetary readings. It's very interesting because it doesn't say that. It says the Chokmah. It says Neptune and Pluto, but it doesn't have anything in this book under that. Really? Man, Uranus, the bearded man. Really? And Uranus isn't even in our chart. That's where you got to be careful. Seriously? Yeah. Those planets weren't added, and Uranus is never in any of these charts. No, and for good reason. Fucking ass oil. Really? The planet of sudden shocks and revelations. All right, then you got the Bana, which is Saturn, woman. It says Juno or Hecate, a mature woman. Then you got the Chesed or the Hesed, Jupiter, which is the unicorn, Poseidon. That's not right. Really? No, and that's where it is. Is you'll read this. Look at this one. This is where you got it all fucked up. Watch this. So the Gerbera, which is Mars, is from this. It says the guardian angels are the seraphim. The creature is the basilisk. But listen, the Greek and Roman gods, it has Ares, Hades, and Mars. A warrior and a chariot. Well, technically, you're from the female side. Wonder why I caught. Just kidding. The sun is the lion, the phoenix, and the child. And that's Apollo and Adonis, the majestic king. That's what I mean. Just because it says, you have to be careful. Because you'll read. It's like, how do you know the truth? Because I've read the truth so many times, I can recognize a lie. All this means is that this person that wrote this book didn't have enough understanding, didn't have all of it. And the fact that they spell the Kabbalah with a C right there is already stands out. Really? I didn't need this card, but this card is from my witch's oracle. These are from my witch's garden oracles. This is nothing but botanicals. It's the witch's botanicals. That's where this particular card came from. But I have it in almost all of my cards, not to mention the Kabbalah card. So I know what is in each of these planets and what they represent. But as we're reading it, we're getting false information inside of this book. So, for example, if somebody was to buy the Black Arts book and try to execute anything out of it, they don't have the right information. If they're wrong here, then they're wrong in other pages. It's that simple. How do you know they're wrong? Because if you know anything about Jupiter, there's no way that Poseidon, a water sign, would be part of it. Really? No. And you can see Poseidon's fucking sign right there in Neptune. Really? Mm-hmm. Anyways, going back to it. The Malkuth, which was Earth, they say is ruled by the cherubim. And it's the Sphinx, Demeter, Circe, and Persephone. Really? That's their understanding. For the moon, it would be an elephant, which is interesting because I covered this in elephants. And Diana, a beautiful naked man. They didn't have all of it. And that's where it is you could take all the books and try to sort it all out, but you wouldn't know the truth by that way. The opposite force of the Jerba, the number 5 female, is which the sphere of the Mars and the force of they're not wrong. You gave Venus, you thought Venus was a feminine energy, and you attached Aphrodite to such a thing. But Venus was always the morning star, and the morning star was always male. According to Egyptians, it's Sobdet, which was, you know what I mean, that was the deity that rides with the morning star. But if you think about it, all of the deities that live within the thrones are all divine feminine. Jesus was a divine feminine. This is all action. Your heart makes you take action, expansion, the seas, your waters, all of that. You would say it's the opposite, but it's not. Because if you think about my energy, dude, as the feminine source of God's power, it's all action. There's really no passivity until we're in that. Really? Mm-mm. It's very intriguing. Because I already said that. And that's where it is. It's like, where did you know what I mean? By nature, I'm a fixed freaking, or I'm a mutable fire sign. I'm from freaking Jupiter, right? I'm ruled by, if you look at my chart, most all of my chart is ruled by Sagittarius. That's all a masculine energy. What's in your guys' chart? And that's why someone like myself and Wolfman are constantly at conflict because it's his masculine energy against mine, which is in essence his ego versus mine. It never calms. Unless he was to act out of a heart, then then that's what would happen because I'm a mirror to the madness. Luckily, I can alchemize it. So if you give me hate, I won't necessarily give you hate. I'll feel it, and I will definitely magnify it, but then I transmute it. I don't usually fire it back at, but I do with him all day. I'm doing it. If I'm not fighting with fucking Scorpio and Aries, then I'm fucking fighting with Russ all the time. I am constantly right there fighting with those guys. Is there anybody else I really argue with in this planetary chart that I really be fucking with? I'm not really fucking with Allie over there in the communications department. I'm not fucking with really any of them. Seriously? No. I am constantly at war with this fucking planet and the people of it. Fucking Scorpios and fucking Aries. You guys are fucking always. Realistically? And then you got your fucking Libras. You guys get on my nerves. Libras are fucking Tauruses and shit. Really? I am caught in some bullshit. But that's where I always am. I'm always fighting with this planet, dude. I am forever stuck on this planet fighting with these guys. For real? Oh, we got fuck boy or fuck man. Fuck me. Seriously? Ultimately. And that's why. It's the position. But as I tell you, I stand in a room full of mirrors. So it's like I'm right here. No matter where I look, I'm looking at another version of myself through one of these twin flames. Unless I close my eyes and then I'm just looking at my already self. But if I do, I'm standing in front of a mirror of myself, a reflection of myself outside. Why? Because that's what they're made to do. I can't see inside my past. I just told you that. It's impossible. But through you, I can remember. That's why you play such an important role. You're living a life that I already lived. You're triggering up my memories. It gets frustrating. I don't want to be triggered all the time. But I am, when it's over, grateful that happened. Because I got to face something I didn't really want to face, but I feel more powerful now doing it. And I got to be thankful that without you, I wouldn't be able to face such things. I hope you have the power to face it the way I just did. And then I move on and face another challenge through another twin flame. A reflection in the mirror. Non-stop, non-stop. Seriously, non-stop. You could say they're reflecting darkness, but they're reflecting the way into the light. Really? Mm-hmm. They don't hold my memories. They trigger them. And that's why in the path, in the initiation, you resent the initiator. I can't stand you, dude. Every fucking time I gotta deal with you, I gotta learn some fucked up hard lesson. I end up fucking, you know what I mean? All because what? Because I looked your direction? Why did I even open your page? Seriously? Something that simplistic. I didn't get to teach you the fucking past. Let me just show you this. That was the whole point. Went on a whole fucking trip with the tarot, and I didn't pull a tarot card. Well, I guess it can't be fully positive in that sense. I don't think we can trust this after we just went through all of that. Really? Maybe. Maybe some of it, but not all of it. We know that the last one wasn't true. Really? Let's see. Mercury, Cancer is ruled by the moon. Yeah, that's about right. Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. That's about right. Let's see. According to them, and this is everywhere, depending on the cards we pulled, we would know where we are. So earlier I pulled, last night I pulled a Notoria. The Notoria says that we're with the cherubim. We're the cherubim. I forgot. Really? Sorry. It's my memory, dude. I can't remember everything. I'm putting in new memories. Where are those cards? Up here, they say. Up here. Did I pull the right ones? Nope, those are the crows. But pretty good guess. Really? I know those differently because I keep incense in them. Really? Why? They're special. What incense? The love ones. So only in these ones, and that's what these are tarot, but they're not really. In the beginning of this one, it teaches you that. Here they are. So the cherubim are right here, like I said, in the chokmah. So right now, when we were facing what was last night, the Five of Wands, was it Five of Swords? Five of Wands. It was an angel from here that was helping us work through it. Really? Mm-hmm. I was trying to pinpoint Sandophone in this place, but he was just part of all of them. He wasn't a part of it. So earlier we pulled Valal, who was a fallen angel from the powers, right? And this is the location of where they are. That it doesn't say here. But of course, why would it? These are not supposed to be that. This was just, honestly, this is all this is the rose card. Seriously? Yes, the rose that holds everything together. Really? I haven't pulled those cards forever. I don't even know where they are. That's a good question. Really? I haven't pulled my herb cards. They're in here, I think. Yeah. They're in here with my Isis cards. Here's the Isis oracles. Here's the herb cards. Yarrow, poppy. This is all those herbs that I use. I use a lot of that one. There's all of them, mandrake and all of this. I got these. Did you buy all of them? No, I needed to know what I was working with. So this actual is the rose card. And what's all over the place? Roses. And that's a representation. It's all in biblical. Then our Isis card at the bottom of our Isis deck, Ascension, Power, and Mysteries. This oracle guides you to honor the power of your voice, whether through spoken or sung word, or through what you write, speak, or stand. I'm seeing Ellie. Why? Communications, butthead. You have the potential, or you have a potentially very powerful healing voice, and you are guided to recognize the responsibility that you have for what you proclaim through your voice. Watch your words. Your words are ever powerful. Really? Yeah. Those are some other ones. Why don't you pull those? I only do it when I'm guided, bro. I keep fucking pulling out fucking 40 fucking cards. But trust me, we do. Really? When I'm messing with the herbs, then we pull out the herbs cards as a reference. They're just reference guides for me. Can't you see that? All right, so I showed you how that works. Yes? Sort of. So we pull those cards, and those tell us specifically. They told us we're up here in Neptune. Sure, waters and shit. Whatever. Everything else says we're over here. So where are we? It depends. And that's what I said. It's like we're getting contradictory messages. You're either supposed to move or don't move. And that depends. Take it how it resonates. Some of you know that that was the confirmation, and then the other ones are like, no, they're not talking to me. That's where you got to know the difference. They're not talking to me. So then where are we? If we're up here, we're either in the path, the Empress, the Emperor. The Pope would be the Hierophant. Really? The female Pope would be the High Priestess. No, it'd be the Magician. We already went through this. The Magician, those are where we're at. Those are super high arcanas. Everybody knows that. The Strength card would be what? A Leo card. You see what I mean? We already pulled these cards. So if we wanted to, watch. Get a new deck. Let's do this. Somebody pick a card. Any card. Oh, I don't have any takers, huh? Oh, shit. We're still in the devil. Just kidding. That was last time. Watch. Where are we gone? King of Pentacles. Which is what? Practicality, earth, where we should be, grounding. I'm not very grounded. We're working on it, but that's what they said. On Tuesday, we would get back to earth. Do you see what I mean? So anytime I pull a card, it's only confirmation. It's not really predicting what comes next. What's our spiritual work at hand? Pick a card. I don't give a shit. The Ace of Swords. What does that mean? New thoughts, intentions, ideas, cultivating new thoughts and ideas. Really? Yep, coming up with new plans. How's the outcome on this? Probably shouldn't take the top card. Really? And we definitely don't want that burnt one. What's that? I'm pretty sure it's the Tower. Oh, it's the devil. We're okay. It's the devil. Really? It's burnt. How do you know? I burnt it, obviously. Oh, look, the outcome is great. 9 of Cups. Abundance. Happy fulfillment. A good harvest. Well, it's harvest time. Really? Seriously, though. That's it. And we can use this to know where we are in our ascension, not to know where someone else is. I can't even physically do it. Even if I wanted to say, hey, let's check and see where Wolfman is. Where is he? He's right there. He's right there, but I can't show you. Because I made a promise when I first started doing this that I would never pull cards on someone else. I would never ask questions about somebody else. This is where Wolfman is. Where's Russ? Right there. What does it say? I promised I wouldn't know. That's between them, but I can get the answers just like them. But I promised I wouldn't ask questions on someone else. It's a promise I made with the universe. And by doing so, I protected myself. Said if I don't ask questions on someone else, then nobody else can know what I'm doing. And that's what they'll do. He can pull a Sagittarius video every fucking day, but he's never truly going to know what I'm going to do. And that's what I did. I sacrificed that power to have true power. I sacrificed it. That's what every tarot reader does. They have the ability to peep on other people. And giving up that power, I also took back my power of anybody else being able to peep on me. It was a sacrifice. It was a pact I made in the very beginning when I started doing tarot. I sat there with my cards and I made a promise to the universe. A promise to never pull cards on someone else. And nobody else will pull cards on me. All you can get is a general reading. They're never going to give you the full truth. You're never going to know what I'm going to do. You can see where I'm at, but that's stupid. You could just check my page. I report all day what I'm doing. If you want to, you don't have to work hard to stalk me. I'll tell you where I live, where I work, what I eat, everything. You know right now I'm about to go to Walmart. You probably know which Walmart because I told you which Walmart I go to. Do you want to meet me at Walmart? You want to buy something? You want to have an ice cream or something? You just want to watch me walk around Walmart to see that, oh my God, I saw her. Next time, come say hi, weirdo. Seriously? In the sense of, you know what I mean? That's what it is. But I don't. And you don't ever have to worry about me doing that to you. Because I made a promise a long time ago I would never do that. Your life is your life, bro. I'm not looking at it. Because really, wherever you are, doesn't matter. You're not here. It only matters when you're here. And when you're here, I can ask you directly. I don't need to know where you are. I don't need to know where you're going. All I need to know is where I am and where I'm supposed to be going. And that's why we use this. And that's why I teach you guys tarot. Each and every one of these tarot readers that I've ever tagged has turned around and went on their page and did this, intro to tarot. All of them are trying to teach people tarot, and all of them are trying to teach people shadow work. They're taking my teachings and trying to find a way to make $1 out of it. But they were never taught what I'm taught. Wolfman can tell you 1,000,000 times about the tree of life, but he's never even been through it. So he can't really. And as far as them teaching you tarot, he has it too. He put it on his Patreon. All of them did. His little friend Steve or Gary, he did it too. They don't teach you like I do because they don't know it like I do. They know how to read this in the form of reading it on a person. They have no self-awareness. What does this cup mean or what does this 9 of Cups mean to you? Can you think of a time in your life when you were in a 9 of Cups energy? They can't. They don't have a testimony to what these mean. They really don't. They use them as to see what they mean about someone else. And that's what he does all day. All of them do. They spiritually stalk people. That's not what the cards were intended for. And I showed you, you can. The cards don't lie. If you know how to translate them, they'll tell you exactly what these people are thinking and feeling. They can't tell you what they're going to do. And that's the ultimate grace. You don't know for sure because just because they're thinking this way and they're feeling this way doesn't mean they're going to act in their feelings or their thoughts. Really? Because most everyone is powerless to their thoughts and feelings. So you don't expect anything. You just know that where their soul is in the middle of everything that's going on around them. That's all. So if this was about me, where am I? I'm sitting fine. I'm solid. I'm the king of I'm a king of the Pentacles, which means that I'm pentaclesing. Everything is solid. What am I working on? Having new ideas. Where's that going to lead me to? Abundance. That's it. Otherwise, the upside down is everything is not okay. Your fucking finances and your life is not very secure. You're very ungrounded. Well, sort of. You don't have any new ideas. You need to think your way out. You're caught up in your own, bad old ideas. And you're not sitting well. Abundance, the opposite of abundance is loss. You're not full, so you're empty. Really? That's just these, and these are really good ones because they come with guiding words, and each of them teaches you a story. That's why I bought these out of nowhere. I have many cards; they're not my first, but these tell you in a storybook form, and I really, if you can ever find them again, I recommend it. It's my most tattered book because it gives you some background to it. Oh my God, I went to the Six of Cups. Jesus Christ Almighty. Sorry. There's what card do you hate? That one? The past? Something from the past? Someone from the past? Really? The Ten of Pentacles? No, the King of Pentacles is the end of this before you hit the major arcana. It's the Lord of the Earth who represents plenty, security, power, and stability. He advises you that you can now achieve pleasure and spiritual growth through appreciating the beauties of life and the world around you. These are true riches. We talked about that earlier. On a practical level, he signifies the ultimate achievement of a creative project, business venture, or investment accomplished through methodical work and attention to detail. Could be a person in your life. He's all great. He enjoys all this stuff and stuff and stuff. The reverse king indicates that you have failed to achieve success you desire. You may be in serious financial difficulties. There may be a number of reasons. You didn't work hard enough, made poor decisions, got suckered into a get rich quick scheme, gambled your money away, or you were just spending money you didn't actually have. Really? Perhaps your dreams were just unrealistic. Forget about the image of being rich and successful you try to project. It's probably time just to get an ordinary job and get yourself back into a stable situation. The reverse king is a dipshit. We're not going to read into it. I don't want to even get pissed off at a bad person. Go to the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is the beginning of this. Well, it starts with the Fool, which is taking the jump, but then the very first card is the Ace of Swords. All aces signify powerful bursts of raw energy and new beginnings. We pulled the Resurrection card with Jesus, and then we had Horus right there. The Ace of Swords heralds a period of piercing insight, which may also be monumentous. Be so monumentous that it changes your worldly view entirely. This fresh mental clarity means that you will be able to cut away confusion and old mental attitudes. This is an ideal time to put your ideas into action and seize opportunities. However, this may lead to conflict as you sever old relationships, connections, and wounding those involved. It's part of the journey. You have to sever ties, dude, all the time through this journey. Reverse, your thinking is muddled and indecisive. You don't seem to know what you want or how you're going to get it. You do know that everything seems to be going wrong. I don't feel that, but that's it. I don't know what I want, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do to get it. I wait until I'm given an opportunity. I don't know what I'm supposed to be going after. I'm not just going after anything. I wait until God shows me this is good for you. You'll like this. All right, bet I'm on it. Instead of feeling frustrated, sit down and think about your goals. Check all your facts and very carefully. And that should be reassurance to any of you, whether you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, wherever you are in your life and you don't have the answers. It's okay. You're not supposed to. We don't have all the answers. They can be given to you. You know what I mean? And that's where it is. A lot of times in our past, we just made irrational decisions because we didn't have all the information. We didn't even know there was another choice. We just made a choice just to, move on, to have a choice be made. If you don't know what to do or what you want and how you're going to get it, that's okay. They're going to ask you that your whole life. What do you want to be when you grow up? Then they're going to ask you, what do you want for dinner? Then they're going to ask you, what do you want to do this weekend? They're going to ask you, always expecting you to have all the answers. You don't. Don't stress yourself out. Just sit down. Check all the facts very carefully and set realistic step-by-step targets. You could be taken in by a plausible or fraudulent advisor, so check the background or qualifications of any therapist or financial expert before weighing things up carefully. And that's it. Don't listen to somebody that says you want to go into business together. Hey, we should collaborate. We should, open a business together. I don't think you should. They said not to do that type of shit this week anyways. Be careful of making rational decisions. Anything that sounds too good to be true is. If they're not, or nobody wants to share their bounty, bro. Nobody's going to let you in on a you know what I mean, 100% return on a fucking, you know what I mean, on some Bitcoin. Think about it, Pinocchio. Why would they be sharing this information? No, it's solid, bro. It's solid. It's going to make us rich. Why do they need your money to be rich? And if it's so solid, how come everybody that's invested isn't rich? Think about it, Richie Rich. They're full of it, dude. Salespeople are the best. I totally went to school for marketing. I can tell you exactly what you need to hear, but that's not going to help. I mean, it might help my pockets, but not you. Be careful. Just think about it. And that goes back to these spiritualists. Bro, don't take it all, you know what I mean? Like, seriously? They own a fucking what? What kind of spiritualist do you think knows God? They have all the answers to your life. They're all superpower-ish. Shut up, bro. Careful out there. Careful out in those streets. Nine of Cups is how we end. That was pretty good. This is the best card in the minor arcana. It is the wish card. Really? Think of it and it can be. Make a wish. It's the Make-A-Wish Foundation. You feel as though you are where you belong, and you can take satisfaction in what you've achieved. Celebrate and look forward to the future. That's where I'm at. I feel good. Really, I should be stressed out because I ain't got no job and shit. I just applied for unemployment, so it's not like I'm not gonna get that. Really, my rent's $25, and she's gonna go with me this week to go pay for my fucking. She didn't get back to me today about paying for the tolls, but she's gonna go pay for my insurance, and everything's good. My life is good. I know it sucks that I don't have a job, and I always hate that because I've been working my whole life, and I feel like real powerful when I have one, and I feel important. But it doesn't make my life suck if I don't. Really? I'm sorry that you don't think that I'm good enough because I don't have a job. I get them all the time. You could just wait a couple of weeks, I'll get another one. It's not the point, though. I'm good. And I'm always good because God makes it so. Guys, I lost my job at no fault of my own, bro. And that's what's making this so difficult. It'd be one thing if I crashed this boat. And as I was filling out that unemployment, they wanted a reason for every other job I quit. Really, finally, I just said personal. It was a personal reason. Really, one of them I said it was drugs. Why did you quit working at public stores? Do you not remember what happened? First off, they had drug activity, hookers, and homeless people living in the fucking storage units. They told me when I got hired that wasn't okay. So when I went to confront the first person that I knew was staying on the property, Jessica got on my case and told me we're not supposed to escalate the shit. I was like, okay, well, this is how you run your property. Fine. Then they tell me that they're going to transfer me to Federal and Evans. Hello? Where's that? That's the hoodie hood. In the essence, really, it's the closest thing to the hood on the west side. Seriously, for real. And that's not a big problem because here it is again. They're struggling in this area and they want to put this new trainee that's real strong into this struggling location. All right, fine. I'm willing. So I go over there and then they want to hook me up with a whole tweaker. She's a whole tweaker. She's a whole tweaker. 1000% doped out at work. Not even she's smoking in the bathroom type tweaker. And she's getting high with the people that are again selling and living out of the storage units. You guys were there. It's on my YouTube. I fucking quit my job. I did it over text message and told him I could not work under those circumstances. He offered me to go to another location way over on the west side. And I told him that if this is how he ran these, that it's going to be a culture everywhere. If you let it happen at here and you let it happen there, you let it happen anywhere. He tried to give me another location where I wouldn't, but that's the truth. You know damn well that you've got hookers and you got drug addicts and you got homeless people living out of these fucking storage units. You know it, and I never knew this was a thing. And then come to find out they're all over YouTube. There's so many videos of people that live out of storage units. Why didn't I think of that when I was fucking homeless? I'm not sure, but now I know I could have. Hopefully never have to do that again. I couldn't work there. And the whole thing was I just couldn't. So I put that down. Why did you quit? Drug activity. That's not a fucking lie. I didn't lie. What'd you want me to tell them? What was the professional answer to why I quit this job? Why'd you quit the fucking healthcare job? Dude, Ella really liked that story. I was like, Ella, she fucking left me there with keys and nothing, no training, bro, because she wanted to go watch a Netflix fight. I was scared to death. I had no idea where anything was and what I was supposed to do, and I just sat there terrified for 8 hours. Anybody else have been like, this is cool, I'll just sit here on my phone for 8 hours. I can't. And that's what I told my daughter. We walked up on this lady and she was just sitting there. And I was like, that's her job. I was like, see, those are easy jobs and people love that easy money. I was like, that would drive me fucking crazy to just sit there watching a clock for 8 hours. All my jobs have been hardworking jobs, fast paced, from one thing to the next. I can't sit there. And that's what I told this last job. What am I supposed to do with the downtime? I don't know how to sit still. Really? I'm fucking terrible at that shit. And that's what makes me such a great worker, because I don't sit still. I'm always doing something. She's always doing something. And since I'm doing shit, I'm looking for shit to do. I'm doing the shit that nobody else wants to do, and they really like that shit. Because all this shit needed to be done, but nobody ever does this shit. Well, I'm just doing it because I don't want to do. And that goes back to cleaning every one of the closets at the fucking retirement home. That shit needed to be done. I'm the only one. It took me fucking 4 hours for almost each and every one of them. Okay, the first one took me 4 hours. The next one took me 2. And they were going to have me do that shit every day. Fucking shit. Stupid shit. Anyways, going back to it. I can't do that. But as anyways I'm good. I don't have to have a job to be good. And I don't necessarily have to have money, but I have both. I have it. And I didn't lose this job being you know what I mean? I mean, of course I was. And it was the same thing. It's the same fight every job I go to. The lack of professionality. Why can't you just fucking turn? I told you I'm not a Jessica. I don't know why I can't. I've cried to God about this so many times. Why did you make me this way? Why can't I just not care? Why do things have to bother me? Why do I have to care? If I didn't care, then I'd be just like the rest of you. And that's what he said. It's not a terrible thing that you care. Why do I gotta care so much? If I quit the job, I'd laugh at you and say, fuck that job. I love this job. And every bit of me wants, you know what I mean, wanted to fight for something. I never had a job I actually loved. But again, it was the same thing. There's no way you can reword this to where I'd still have a job right now. And I'm sorry that in the 3 weeks that I've been fired, I didn't hurry up and replace it for you. I didn't know I was trying to, impress you by keeping a job. Just going back to that, I'm fine. You can take satisfaction in what you've achieved, celebrate, and look forward to the future. Be careful that you don't get carried away with the material pleasures, though, and take everything for granted, because you'll still need to work to keep it up. This card also assures you that if you're doing worthwhile work, you will be taken care of. You may never be rich, but your needs will be met. Even when I'm rich, I'm not. When I'm rich, that means that the people are. The community is. Really? Yeah, and that's just what it is. But I feel very accomplished. Again, last week I had so much shit going on and it was just so overwhelming and I couldn't figure it out on my own and I just didn't want to do any of it. Really? I'm already plowing through it. By this week, everything that I couldn't deal with last week that was just too overwhelming should be done by this week. Really? And that's good enough for me. Seriously? Yeah. I mean, getting my car fixed, you know what I mean? Like, those were serious worries. I was seriously worried about my car overheating. I was seriously worried about getting fucking pulled over and my fucking not having tags. I was seriously worried about hurrying up and getting all of this shit done. And it's seriously getting done. Really? So I feel really good about everything. And then once all of these are done, then God will give us more shit to, more tasks to tackle. Doesn't give you more than you can handle, but sometimes it feels like it's a bit too much. And realistically, if I could go back to last week, what happened, I'm telling you, the memory drove me crazy. And it happened again today, and I'm telling you, people don't understand. I try to keep it real cool, make jokes about it, but there's times when I just cry. And that was one. How can you forget that? I know. Which makes me wonder what was happening last year that I forgot. As much as it is, bro, I've forgotten everything. As hurtful as that is, I mean, I sit here every day wondering what was it, that relationship with Russ that I don't know. And other things. It's not fully gone.
It's a safety mechanism. It's a protective mechanism that when I'm going through hard things, I want to forget it. And the brain honors that. It's almost like I don't even say it, but it's just like it knows from before that I don't want this. So it throws it away. But it doesn't actually throw it away, it just gets hidden somewhere. I was still blacking out lots of things. I blacked out sex with Bobby. Not fully, but I wasn't fully there. I was still disassociating. As much as I wanted this experience and to be present, I couldn't fully. My brain was still taking me out of it because it's programmed to do this. It knows this to be something bad for me, so it closes it down. Whatever was happening last year was too much for me. And I don't know if it was the job. And that's what she said. Well, maybe we can think about what else was going on around that time. I was like, you don't understand. It locks out all the time. That's how I ended up missing my kids is, you know what I mean? It's locking out years. Time. It's not one incident. It's anything that led up to it and all the time it took for me to get over it. It's not a mean thing for me to say I want to forget you. It may be hurtful on your side, but it means that I've been through something with you that I can't handle. And I want it to go away. I don't know why I couldn't remember last year, but it was hard. Who wants to remember living in a shelter? I get so mad at myself because I can't remember. That alone should tell you why I didn't want to be put in memory care. I was interested to learn about them, but I didn't want to look at them because they were a reminder of my own pain. I don't remember either. I don't remember either. I hate the Six of Cups because I know the reason I don't remember it is because it hurt. I tried not to remember it, so I don't want to. But again, the initiation is if I face this hurt, I'll feel more empowered than before, not even knowing it existed. Just because I don't know it's there doesn't mean it's not holding me back. Does that make sense? I don't know. I can't. Maybe now I know the videos. So I got the job. It said it was in June. I worked that one in June and July. Really? Only 2 weeks. It's crazy. I looked at them all. Only worked for them 2 weeks. Then I worked for that one place for a week. Then I worked for the bell ringing for 2 weeks. And then I worked for Target for like 4 weeks. They're just a couple weeks. That's it. A paycheck. Maybe 2. This one I got 3. And God said that when I got the Target job. I was only supposed to get, I think it was like something like 5 paychecks. And since they paid weekly, that's all I got. I had manifested just that, something to hold me over for the holiday and during the Christmas or during the cold months. Then after that, I got my taxes. Really? And when I was about to run out of taxes, then I got the job. And so, which it won't happen, I'm not even going to say if, as I start to get closer to less comfort and money, he'll refill the bank. It's not my job. I hear my dog. Really? They gotta walk the dog. She peed on the floor the other day. Hold on a second. Hey! Maybe she's stuck in the room. Nana, are you in the room? She could be in his room crying at the door. I gotta walk the dog if nobody else does. And I gotta go to fucking Walmart. Anyways, the paths to tarot. I can find my way back to God, but finding my way to Walmart is enough. Anyways, that's how that works. Shit, I got a little sidetracked in that. That's what I said. It's a disability for sure. When I woke up, I didn't know nothing. I've gotten a lot of it back, but it's triggered, and it's painful, and it's not my favorite thing to do. And of course, yeah, that's what I do on Fridays is hang out with Kobe and work through my shattered fucking past. Early? Oh, it's fine. It's part of it, and that's a science, and that in itself is a super science that I can help people because some of them do come back. Some of their memories do come back, and I'm lucky to at least be able to document how that works. But furthermore, what do you do when they do come back? And that's the next part. Because in the process, the magnum opus, what I've learned, the alchemy of this, of transmuting thoughts and feelings, that in itself is the super science that everyone wants their hands on. That's what Carl Jung taught. That's what alchemy taught. That's what mystics taught. That's what they want their hands on is this process. But what they don't understand is it's a hands-on process. Until you can apply it to yourself, which is inject yourself with the venom, you're not going to have the antidote. That's the answer right there. To you, Wolfman. Until the venom hits your fucking blood, you're not going to have the antidote. And once the venom hits your blood, are you going to be able to survive this? And that's the dark night of the soul. Most people can't. They die. They die at these thoughts. They die at these memories. A part of them dies. They can't. They just start crying. They shut down. I've done it myself. I can't face this. I can't face this. I can't face this. I can't face this. I teach them how. And not only to face it, but to finally face it and lay it to rest so we don't got to keep going in that room ever again. I'm taking you into a torture chamber of your own mind as I do that with my own. These are places where I've been abused, neglected, beat. Terrible things have happened to me. They all live in this dark place. It's nothing but every terrible thing that's ever happened to me. That's a place in your mind. They call it the dark night of the soul journey. You journey into there. Everyone has one. You keep it all there. That's where all your shadows are. If you're not careful, every broken part of you will leech onto you when you go in there, and it'll almost make you die. You can only save one part of you at a time, one memory at a time. You can only face one at a time. And I don't rush it, and I don't go looking for shit unless it's, you know what I mean? I haven't already faced it. But you will. Every Friday you'll see me. If I haven't faced one, if they haven't thrown a tower at me, made me face something, change my mind and walk away from something, then I go finding it. I go pulling out the cards to trigger myself. I have a certain group of cards that are made to trigger, that are made to make me look at dark places in myself and you guys. I use those on Thursday nights. I can pull them out starting Thursday nights up until Saturday night. I can pull them out on a Monday, sometimes on a Wednesday, but not usually throughout the light. We pull the dark when we're in the dark. Really? Otherwise, we're staying in the light, ultimately. So what's today? Tuesday, but we're moving into Wednesday, so that means tomorrow will be what? We typically have a mini Dark Night of the Soul, but they seem to be bigger than the Fridays lately. Really? I don't know. They said Friday's going to fuck us up. So that's where we're at. That's how it works. Don't pull cards on someone else. Pull cards on yourself and understand what this card means to you. Got it? It is a path to God. Really? Yes, all things are. And that goes back to this. I'm going to keep teaching you this over and over and over. And it's not necessarily this map, but the planets. And that has to do with Metatron. This is all the teachings of Metatron. Enoch, Archangel Metatron. Really? He's all over this. He taught all of this. The workings of the planets in the universe, the stars, the heavens. He taught this. I have not read the book of Enoch or even been able to watch it on a movie because it lasts for like 3 hours. I haven't worked through any of that yet. But I don't need to because he's teaching me in the flesh. I don't need to see what he wrote in his scriptures when he's teaching me in the flesh. Yeah, we're going. Jesus Christ, it has. I gotta go. It's been 2 hours. What does it say? I want to know about data analysis. When will I be getting that job? Have you followed up with it, Meg? Realistically, it's one thing to make an application, but you need to show them that you're eager for that. You need to show your intention. Did you do research on the location first? Before you go talking to them, you better look up everything on their website. Really, it's not about a position, it's about a company. You need to have backwards knowledge on the company when you go to sit in front of the company. You have to show them that you're interested in the company, plus you're back, you know what I mean, that you did some research and you know something about this company. That alone shows intrigue. But you have to show, you know what I mean, that you want a position here and why they should give you. That you don't wait till the interview to do that. You show that on the phone call. So follow up with your job and go claim your job if that's it. And once you start reading the company, you might start reading something you don't want. Start looking up the executives. Start familiarizing your face with the higher ups and knowing their names. So when you step in the company, you walk up to them and say, "Hey," and that's what I did to Renee. I didn't know Renee. She had never actually came there. I looked up all of them first thing in the morning. I was looking for our new executive director that's supposed to be coming in this week. I looked up her face and I saw her name. I don't remember her last name, but as soon as I saw that face standing in Tammy's office, Renee, right? You're our new directive executive. I've read all about you. Really? Yes, I was on the website this morning looking into it. Really? And that's where it is. Do your research. Show the initiative. I can't tell you when you're going to get the job. You get the job when you get the job. And if you don't get the job with that company, it's because you didn't apply yourself to that company or that company wasn't the right application for you. You're not being denied a job. Know that. If a door closes, it's because this is not where God wants you to be. He don't want you to work next to these dipshits. You may not know it, but they might have food poisoning. They might have COVID. They might have theft. They might have, who knows? Really bad benefits. They might, who knows? God's protecting you. So I can't tell you when you're going to get that job. What else does this say? A bunch of hellos. Hello. Oh, there's my friend. Hello, gorgeous. Hello to you too. Well, that's it. Really? What did I say in the beginning of this? Confusion and chaos. Really? Through the paths of tarot. Love you. Later.